Welcome to the first episode of our podcast.
Currently unnamed. We'll think of that as time goes on. So, let's get to our show.
Yeah, we compiled a short list of topics that aren't very good, but we're going to talk about them anyway.
Just things that are, maybe a current event, maybe just some things we have some
Thoughts on,
yeah. Okay.
I mean,
first topic, LMFAO is written down on here.
Yeah, so, what about that band? What happened to them?
Yeah, what happened to them?
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, one of them, I think one of them went to jail. Didn't they?
Really?
For which one?
I don't know.
Probably.
Party Rockers?
Yeah. What other LMFAO are we talking about? What other band?
I thought you were talking about like the word.
No, we're like, what happened to the
What happened to the
band?
band?
I mean, maybe
What
it's
happened
for-
to the band?
No, one of them is still singing. I know for sure. I forget what their names are. Like a red. No, I gonna say a red moose, but that's not
That's
it.
me.
Wasn't there a black guy and a white guy?
Yeah, I don't. The black guy's still singing. The black guy's the one still singing.
Okay,
I know that
okay.
for sure.
But he
I don't know what the other guy's name is.
But we don't know if the
I don't know
black
if he went
guy's
to jail or he does something different. He doesn't do music anymore. I know that for sure.
He went to juvie. How would the world be different if the F in LMFAO stood for French?
Laugh my French ass off.
Yeah, like what if the French people just really were into that? Ali, you know French. Maybe you can shed some light on this.
Dude, what
case.
are you even talking about?
Clay, what do you want me to say?
I don't know. How would it change the world? Like, what if every time someone said LMFAO, you assumed they were French? Like,
So,
does that
I mean,
indicate
like,
they
I
were
don't think that
French?
changes the meaning of the phrase at all.
You think people would just say LMFAO still? And
I mean,
Yeah.
people shit on the French anyway, so I mean...
I mean, like, you say pardon my
Wait,
French.
no,
you know?
people would say it, but it could have the double meaning of French and...
Yeah, that would probably emerge
Fucking.
anyway. Because raffle is like still a thing. Or
What
like
was Raffle originally?
rolling on the floor. Wait, that is
rolling on the French laughing.
Yeah, rolling on the French laughing.
Wait, is it rolling? Is it rolling on the fucking floor laughing?
No, it's not. Is it?
Oh, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, no, it's just...
ROFFL.
Was there something else? Or WTF? It's not gonna be a what the French.
What the frick?
Yeah. I'm sorry you find that funny, Clay.
Wow. Okay, everything.
I'm not the only one laughing.
Someone is.
Everything said about LMFAO is just wrong. They're both black. And neither of them are in jail. They're both
Oh, you were actually
Who are you really thinking of?
I don't know. I don't know where I was going with this. I don't know.
Well,
That's good.
That's a little bit inappropriate.
But yeah, they're both black and they're both still alive and well.
So
and not
what
in jail.
are the latest songs? Like,
No, Red Foo is by himself. I know Red Foo's still popular. I've never.
What are
The other guy's name is Sky Blue.
Wait, what's the last thing that LMFAO's put out?
I have no idea.
Wait, were there
So-
were there
Hold on,
only
Wikipedia back open.
were there only two people in the band?
Yeah, it was only like a little, like it's like an electronic dance group.
I always thought
They're
there'd
not
be
really a
five,
band.
one for each letter.
I feel like I remember a song that besides Party Rock. That
There's
was,
Well, they
Yeah,
did
a lot,
Sexy and
yeah.
I Know It and
Yeah.
Shots.
Sexy and I Know It,
Shots,
that's
Shots.
what-
Party
yeah.
Rock.
They
What
did
was that?
Shots, right?
No, that's Lil Jon. It's just
Wait,
No, I thought he was in that. I thought LMFAO was Shots.
well,
Maybe
wasn't
I'm
one of the
wrong.
shots like was the SNL shot skit like using that song from Lil Jon? Or was it their own?
I
shot
could just
song?
be totally wrong, and
Hold
I'm
on.
just gonna look like a fool.
no, you're right.
Ah,
You're right.
hell
It's
yeah.
LMFAO featuring Lil Jon. Yeah.
So is that a different song than the shot skit on SNL?
I
I
don't
think
know.
you're probably the only one who saw it.
Their last song was released in 2011, and that was their last album that had Party Rock anthem, Sexy and I Know It, Sorry for Party Rock. So they literally did that and then just toured for another year.
Was like the last
They
song
just kind
called
of broke
like
up.
TIFU?
So they're not
What
together
the-
anymore.
I don't know. It was like the last album. There's no like last single.
You know, there's like the
As
last.
far as I can tell.
It'd be funny, you know, if they fucked up and that was the end, right?
I don't know. They just
Oh,
kind of
TIFU.
kind of drifted apart. I guess.
I bet they're.
I
not-
know Red Foo he's still singing.
I bet they're not laughing their asses off anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
think
I know
they
one of them
probably,
is still
like,
very
raked in the
famous.
money. I don't know. Probably like rich. What the
Yeah.
hell you want?
I don't know. They could have burned through it. A lot of people do.
Okay, hypothetical. Shasant, it's your first trip to Tokyo. You finally saved up all the money. Dream trip. You got your little pod hotel in Akiba you're staying in.
Okay.
You know, it's like the dream.
For who?
For you.
Okay.
You wake up your next morning like, what do I want for breakfast? Omurice. So you walk down to your local maid cafe.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
You sit down and
Is anyone with me or just me?
no, it's just you.
Okay.
Just
Solo
Shasant's trip
vacation.
first trip to Japan.
Okay.
Hello.
And so yeah, the ketchup's already out on the table waiting for you. You know
Yeah.
what?
What is this thing you're talking about right now?
It's like an omelet, and you put like rice inside the omelet, and then like you cover it up again, and there's like ketchup on it.
Ketchup can be like
okay.
writing or like hearts or whatever.
And they serve that's a specialty at maid cafes.
Okay.
How would they?
So the maid comes to your table,
Yeah.
turns around,
Yeah.
it's
Dude, you can't do that.
The best is he said we all gagged. We all
I think you can leave it in up to where he says you can't do that, and just like cut it off there, and we move on.
No, it doesn't work like
because
this.
we all.
Nobody knows about
this. Every single one of us gagged.
There's a Steam like a visual novel game on Steam. It's like My First Trip to Japan or some shit. The entire premise is you go there, you get to Japan, and there's like these two girls who like they're like your pen pals or whatever, and you thought that they were like guys, but it turns out they're like both girls. And they're like both like cute girls, like that's like the premise, right? Mm-hmm. And the entire visual novel is just them teaching you like random stuff about Japan. Like the first 30 minutes is like you learning about like the train system or some shit, and it's like really boring. I like watched some guy like play the game. It was awful.
Yeah.
But so what?
Watch.
Yeah, it was Barney actually.
All right,
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you believe me too.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe that.
Did you just name drop Barney the dinosaur?
So like if you go to Japan like alone, it's like kind of sad. I don't know. Like you have to like know like the language or something.
No, it's like
Isn't it like a tourist hub though? Like
Sure.
Tokyo or.
But I wouldn't like just go alone.
I don't know. I think
I'd
a
like
lot
either
of,
like go and like meet someone I know there or like some shit.
What if I go with you?
What if you knew the language?
Then it's different. You can meet people
I
a little
think-
more easily.
aren't a lot of pocket translators now like really good?
I guess that's true, but
So
I
I
you
feel
also
like-
feel kind of like a scrub, like
That's-
whipping out your phone and
Taking
be
a
like,
That makes
picture.
sense.
There are a lot of things that don't translate.
yeah, that's true.
Especially in like French, a lot of things just don't translate.
And especially in like a very different.
I'm sure a lot of people there know a good amount of English.
You know, I know. I'm sure that's true, right?
In
And,
most- in
like,
most-
if I tried, I could probably go to like meetup.com or the
You just-
Japanese version, meetup. or something.
You just mean in general, it's like lonely to travel.
Yeah,
by
no,
yourself
I
anywhere.
think like you.
I
if
think
you
that goes for
if you
anywhere,
messed
not
up-
just Japan.
Yeah.
yeah, if you mess up, you could be like David O'Koon, like
Exactly,
in your hotel,
yeah.
right? And then insert clip of David O'Koon or some shit right here.
I've got like an unrelated topic completely, but I just
Alright,
thought of
let-
it while you're talking.
Let's just say I'm going to hag $5. It's gonna be dumb as hell.
Oh, alright. So, like,
Wait, hold on.
I'm not taking that bet. I refuse to take that bet.
Alright, so like
I wouldn't be
Pokemon
surprised.
is like short for like pocket monsters, right?
Are
And
you
it's-
said
what
this
like you were talking about like the pocket like translators, and I was thinking like
Poke
or
trans.
so Pokedex is that sort of like pocket digital lexicon?
Dex?
Yeah, what is Dex? Digital lexicon?
Index. It's
Yeah,
short for
Index. Oh,
That's I'm
I
glad
never
know
thought
that.
about it. I just never.
Really?
Doesn't it?
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Doesn't the professor tell you at the beginning it's your own Pokemon index?
He does say that.
Dude, I don't
I-
fucking
I-
remember. I was like 4.
I just
Does
smashed
anyone
that,
read that
dude.
shit? Like,
I have your
smash it.
Pokemon games, by the way, still.
Oh, yeah, true. I read that. I actually know, like, you're so young that, like, I probably didn't know half the words.
Yeah.
I remember
Honestly.
my first.
I called cancel Sentinel for a good year.
My first Pokemon game that I got was when I still lived in Egypt. I didn't know how to read English, so none of that stuff meant anything to me, anyways. I guess I couldn't read through it anyways.
There's a bunch of like Pokemon names that like I had no idea to pronounce. Even like to the degree where they were like misspellings, like the way I pronounced them, like Rattata. I thought it was Ratatat.
I thought it was Rattata too.
That's what I thought too.
I thought it was Rattata.
Wait a minute, question. So you were living in Egypt playing Pokemon in English,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So like, how did you know what the moves did? You just like trial and error?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
how.
that's
That's
what
how.
you-
That's what I did.
As a
I didn't
child,
Yeah.
either way, I'm pretty
I
sure
guess
it's
that's
what
When
you
I was a
do.
kid,
Yeah,
like,
I
one of
thought-
the first video games I played, like,
Yeah, I used to have
I
guess if
barely
they figure
spoke
out
English,
buttons,
so
dude.
I
I
had to,
thought
like, guess.
Tackle was Tickle, and then I found the real move Tickle and was really surprised.
I'm glad you were surprised.
I was wondering why Tickle did so much damage.
Speaking of Pokemon and reading,
Tackle doesn't do anything.
speaking of Pokemon and reading, I had this. I don't know. Maybe you guys had it too. It's like a red book. It's like the official Pokemon Pokédex.
Oh yeah.
I think
It's
I
a red book.
I
It was.
I always wanted it.
It was just
My parents were
just
like,
like numbers 1 through 151. It was a pretty old book, but that book, like, I read it cover to cover. I read all the stats and everything. Most of them were made up, but that like helped me learn how to read.
Yeah.
But I every time it said weight, it was like Pikachu weighs 8, and then it was pounds, abbreviated LBS. But I thought it was libs. So I'm like, he weighs 8 libs, of course.
Golem has
See,
some
when I was-
massive bullshit.
And Golem weighs 300 libs.
See, in
What's more than
Canada,
that, dude?
in Canada we use the metric system, right? So when I first moved here, I didn't know pounds or like LBS was pounds. Because
Yeah.
like when you see LBS,
Mm-hmm.
you think of something else. It's like IBS.
Ibs, libs.
Yeah, and then I didn't think that was a real unit of measurement.
Do you actually know where that comes from?
No idea.
It LBS is short for Libras, because I guess in some mythology,
Books.
Libra had a
Oh,
scale.
yeah, okay.
Libra had a
Yeah.
scale.
Okay.
I don't know what this is, but all I know is Libra and a scale, and that's where they get it from
For pounds.
for pounds, because as a unit of.
Oh, okay.
Was
Wait.
Libra like a god or something, or like a
Yeah, like a
Tinkler?
goddess or something.
Why,
I don't
Libra
know.
why is ounce
Constellation.
Oh, okay.
Isn't it like a sign? Yeah.
You want to know something interesting?
Sure.
So the imperial system is actually based on the metric system. It's just a conversion of the metric to the imperial. And then when you want to go back, you have to convert back from imperial to metric. Pounds are defined in terms of kilograms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
1 pound
No.
is 2.54 kilograms.
Yeah,
Isn't
it's
it?
all defined
Yeah.
in terms of
And
kilograms.
like
Yeah.
kilograms has like actual like objective.
It's a real
yeah.
thing.
But
Oh,
I
yeah.
I think the empirical system was based on something beforehand.
It was
and
like-
then they
Wasn't
made
it-
official
Yeah,
conversion.
I thought
it
it was-
might have been, but now it's all they reference the metric system to define.
I thought it was
Okay.
based on like
Imperial
actual like
system.
parts of like
Yeah,
the
didn't-
king or something like that. Like it was like the yard was like here to here.
That's what I thought. I
Yeah.
thought
That's
it was
what I-
they were,
like arm
they were
stand or
based
something
off
like that.
things, but then when they had
But
the
there was this
official,
like bullshit, right?
Yeah, but
that's
it was like
something they
changed
tell you.
sometimes.
It was like the length of like the king's like leg or something,
Yeah,
or
it's
like,
like-
the king's foot was
His
1
foot
foot.
was his real foot.
Yeah, so that was
That's a
1
big
foot.
fucking
That's what like
Yeah.
everybody says, but I don't know. I mean, like I know now for sure. Every class that I've ever taken that has math in it, they always say 1 pound equals 2.5, or 1 kilogram equals 2.54 pounds. Like it's always defined as
I believe
as each
that.
other.
I mean, it was like the British imperial system,
Right.
so that makes sense. But like, they need to standardize it.
I wonder when the
Yeah, that's true.
standardization occurred.
Probably back when the metric system was. Probably back when the metric system was like first formulated, and the entire world accepted it.
Because
Yeah.
the metric system's all at the fundamental basics. It's all defined by like atomic things that can't be changed.
Yeah.
Well, then before they had that, didn't they have like a global like a weight that was 1 kilogram and they kept it in like pristine
No, they still
condition?
have that.
They
Yeah.
still have that now.
They-
But
they
that,
made
that was
those-
decided that
Yeah,
before like every country had its own like.
I know that,
measurement
but I'm
system.
saying like that before it was like based on atomic stuff. They had that like that was like what got like that was the previous like main.
Oh yeah, you're
years,
kind
right?
of right there.
Isn't there like
Because like now like sorry, a meter is like defined as like the amount of length like light travels in like this fraction of a second.
Yeah.
But before that was probably not the case.
Yeah.
The meter's always changing too. Technically, it's always changing by like a really, really small number
Why?
because they get the distance or the speed of light more accurate.
Oh yeah. I guess
So
that's
that
true.
they instead of changing every like literature, they just change the size of the meter.
Sorry, it's not that it's really changing. It's
It's
that
not, it's getting more accurate,
getting
more
more
precise,
accurate, yeah.
more precise.
We're discovering the meter. every
It's
day.
like it's just like I know it's a second. A second is defined as like some sort of nuclear oscillation of a specific isotope of some element. I looked that up because I'm like, how do you define a second? You know, and
Yeah,
I
I
guess
learned
they
in my physics
studied.
class,
I mean, it was like okay, we divide a second is because it's the second division of 60 of an hour. That's what it comes from.
yeah.
yeah,
That's why it's called a second. But
Mm-hmm.
I think then they backtracked and looked at like, okay, what element or what isotope can we use that matches this exactly?
yeah. Because
and
now
then
there's
they
like
found one.
there's like atomic clocks that
Yeah,
keep
and
like the
that's-
real time. There's
that's-
only like,
Yeah,
The
well,
real
that's,
time.
that's what I was
the
about to bring
real
up.
time, the OG time.
So that's relative.
Right, if second
Think
is
about that.
second, what's minute then? Like, was there a reason that it was called minute specifically, or is it just they just chose that terminology as a subdivision of hour?
I don't know.
Got it.
Research it for next time.
Yeah.
Bring it up.
Interesting topic for next week's
Wow,
podcast.
we went
Minutes.
to Japan and then we went to
Where did
the
they
metric
come from?
system.
Well, we went to Pokemon first.
Oh, yeah,
Pokemon.
because this guy is like, I have a somewhat unrelated tangent. What was I gonna say?
Okay, so Light Turner.
No. All right, this actually is a good lead-in into one of
next topic.
the only topics we had written down.
Our
Adaptation.
friend.
Can we just
oh,
make
no,
it?
that's
Can we make it like general adaptations? Like not.
Yeah, just adaptations in general. From I mean, it could be from like books to movies, or video games to movies, or anime to movies, or whatever the fuck.
Why does everything have to go to movies?
Yeah.
Or I mean, it could be either way. I mean, manga to anime. That kind of stuff.
I
don't know.
James. He was saying like the opposite. Like it could be like anime to manga. Like why does it have to? Why is it only one way? Why are you always going out like to the like movie or?
I don't know,
type
dude.
part?
I mean,
Probably because that's how most of them are.
I know, but
Yeah.
there are some the other way.
Realistic.
There's
Don't pull out Dragon Ball Super.
I mean,
on me,
obviously,
boy.
I'm
No.
going to. I said I like movies instead of like Dota 2 or anything. So I'm going to focus more on like the visual medium.
it's because you're
Kinda
bad at
Wasn't-
Dota 2.
wasn't-
Are you saying
Uh,
Dota 2 is not a visual medium?
Wasn't Yu-Gi-Oh a card game before it was a show?
No, I
No.
don't think so.
No.
I think they
Yeah.
made the show
I
with
heard
the
it
card
right
game
or
in
something
mind.
like that.
Yeah.
I
But
think-
like, because like, Okay, I guess that makes more
Like
sense.
they designed, like we
With-
want to
they
make a
designed
card
the
game.
show
Let's
with
make,
yeah. Not like they made the show, then they realized that it's a card game, so then they made the card
Yeah.
game.
I think
So
Clay
there's
knows
a-
the most about this.
Well, so I know that the first thing was Season 0, right? That's like the original Yu-Gi-Oh, and that's like a dark thing. So as opposed to just being a card game, it was just that that's where like the title King of Games comes from, and in that setting, like his alter ego Yami Yugi was just like he was the king of all games. He would play like various games with people. Like in one, you're trying to get it's something along the lines of there's a whole deck of
You don't
cards.
need to go into
I don't want to go on a whole tangent.
It's actually pretty interesting. I've seen some YouTube, but like basically the thing is like he challenges people to like games of like chance and stuff, and then like if they lose, he like kills them basically.
Wait,
And
does that just
Season
take place
0?
chronologically, or was it made before?
it was made before, and it's like
It's-
technically, I think it's like chronologically before too.
It's chronological before, but it's like not canon. Really.
It's not
Oh,
canon.
that's why it's called Season
It's
0.
called Season 0.
So, but, like, there is like a brief moment of like dual monsters
In
the
that.
card game of that, but it's
Yeah.
like nothing
So-
like how it is.
And I think that might have been like why they played it with the card game in mind, is because people realized that might be a cool card game or
Yeah.
something, and then the,
Oh.
the real thing, like it came all spun off of that. That's also why the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh is kind of like weird and
Yeah.
clunky, and like the rules aren't quite set in yet.
They break the rules all the time.
Because like the rules don't really exist yet. Like even if you consider the first battle of like Yugi versus Kaiba, like I think they can like just summon whatever they want.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Kaiba just summons like all the blue eyes at once,
Like without sacrificing. and
right,
stuff.
and stuff like that. And you only have like 2,000 life points or something, so blue eyes is even more overpowered in that setting.
Yeah, it's like yeah, the seasons is actually pretty cool because like there's a lot of like adult themes. Like there's like a robber who enters like a restaurant and like he makes Yugi like pour him some like vodka. He like kills him with the vodka. It was like really weird, but it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, best
What were we
season.
talking about?
Did you guys see the Yu-Gi-Oh movie in theaters?
I did.
Yeah,
was
I
not
did
that
too.
movies.
I wanted to because I wanted that card.
I got those dope cards. Yeah.
I got Pyramid of Light. Anyway.
I got.
I got a
was that?
shitty card. I think it was like a Karibo or something.
Oh, yeah, I was talking about those. Oh, I can't. I was talking about this with a friend earlier today. And he also got Karibo. We happened to be talking about this earlier today. We were playing music in my basement, but
I like how that sounded so vague.
We're playing music in my
It still sounds
that sounds very suspicious.
What kind of music?
well, we were playing. We just like he played the what's it called, the dun 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 Mission Impossible theme, and I played drums to that. And that was most of what we did. I don't know why.
For an hour?
Well,
Hey, speaking
no.
of Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise actually almost fell off a building filming, and like he broke his leg, and there's a video of it, and it's hilarious.
Well, wait, is it? Wouldn't his leg be like? Is it like a nasty leg break or like a?
It's like he was jumping from a building to another building,
Does
and
he do his own stunts?
yeah, he does his own
Oh.
stunts. Yeah, I mean he's like 55 or something, you know. But yeah, he jumped from the building, and he almost fell off of it to the point where he's hanging on by like one hand, and then he like pulled himself back up. It was insane. The video.
Where did he break his leg in that process? Just jumping?
Yeah, I mean, I
It
guess
was
like
out of fear.
his
actually.
leg must have like hit the side of the building, and then he like fell.
Out of
so
fear,
instead of
his
like
leg got
he
broken.
he didn't
He
he
just
didn't-
broke himself.
Yeah, he didn't jump far enough. But yeah, no, that's interesting that you're bringing up Mission Impossible because that actually just got delayed, the 6th one.
But yeah, he got that too. And I remember I went with my grandpa and I got Blue Eyes Shining Dragon Pyramid of Light.
Holy scatterbrain!
Stop clapping.
You don't need a clap.
No more clapping.
No, the issue is that Heg will just clap in normal settings because when he's excited. It's like
No, he's doing it on purpose.
He's doing it because he wants
No,
to
but-
cut you out.
I know he is, but he does that in like Discord. We'll like be talking, Heg just like claps up a storm.
I'll hold your hand.
No,
Give
why did okay?
He
Speaking
might have some
of
cold palms.
speaking of movie
It's
injuries,
really warm.
you know Jackie Chan when they were filming Rush Hour 2 almost died while trying to climb a wall. Have you seen Rush Hour 2?
Yeah.
Who hasn't?
I remember he was climbing. He was like parkouring up a wall to enter like the. It might have been Rush Hour 1.
Like
actually.
vertically?
No. It was he like. It might have been Rush Hour 1 actually. He's trying to go into the. I don't know what the like the. Goddamn.
Sorry, I'm laughing at something completely different. I'm just rethinking like what we've been saying so far.
I'm trying to think of it was like that government guy. What was his like position? He was
I don't even remember. It's been like
What is the Rush Hour 2 is the one with the
A lot.
casino?
It might have been Rush Hour 1 then.
Okay,
When he was
Rush
like.
What the?
Rush Hour is not even worth remembering. The
What
details
Are you
of,
kidding?
so-
I love that
so good,
movie.
yeah.
I love that
It's
movie.
overrated.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyways, he's like jumping over a wall, and the wall's shaped like an L. Like I said, hand doesn't really
It's
help.
like,
No, you're-
is this
But
leading to
the wall's
couch
shaped like an L, and he like kicks off the short part of the L to climb up on the longer part of the L.
Mm-hmm.
And he's about to climb up, and he falls like completely all the way down. It's like an 8-foot wall, and then he almost broke his neck.
Wow.
He actually almost died.
Well,
But-
alright, I've never really understood.
He's
So
like 50.
is Jackie Chan just like the so I know Bruce Lee's like an actual martial arts master, but he did movies too. Was Jackie Chan also like a martial arts master, or was he like more?
I'm
of a
pretty
movie
sure
guy?
Jackie
Jackie
Chan.
Chan-
He is a
yeah.
martial artist.
We're like the same tier, or was he like more?
No,
movie-based?
definitely not.
Yeah,
He was
definitely
not good.
I've never really I've
Not
never
like
really
that.
known like what the I know the difference, but like
Well, okay, I think Jackie Chan I think he's up there, but I think Bruce Lee is technically like, I mean,
he's like a legend.
Bruce
right?
Lee
I'm sure if
died.
what's that one
Ghost.
show where they put like Genghis Khan up against like King Arthur or something?
Epic rap battles.
No,
Deadliest
Warrior. Like I'm sure if they put Jackie Chan up against
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee, I'm sure
Bruce Lee would
would
definitely
win.
win.
Like
Definitely.
there's a really interesting movie on called The Master that's about Bruce Lee's like master, like his like
Ip Man.
Ip Man, and then there's like the one that more so goes into the the aspect of him training Bruce Lee. Kinda is the Grandmaster,
I mean,
and
I'm
it
saying-
just shows like how like insane this guy was. So he had like a really really good teacher back in China.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
but
his
didn't, like-
teacher was Ip Man.
Didn't like Jackie Chan do that with Jaden Smith?
In the Karate,
Isn't that a movie?
in the Karate Kid remake.
Karate Kid.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a
Fun fact about the Karate, they're actually making a sequel to the first movie, or the first
original?
two. Yeah, a TV series on like Amazon or something
Who's
Who's starring?
with Ralph Macchio, like the original
Oh,
kid.
Oh, so
Oh, wow.
he trained someone else?
I guess he does. Yeah.
Oh, that's
so
actually
that's
pretty
pretty
cool.
interesting.
Is that guy like a? I feel like he's like goes on things and actually never mind. Forget
Bring
it.
the Jaden Smith version. They have him.
Yeah, maybe
train
there'll be
someone else.
a crossover. They'll get a Karate Kid cinematic universe going. Yeah.
Has Jaden Smith done anything since After Earth?
Let's hope not.
No, he's doing a movie with Cara Delevingne that's actually getting a lot of
Is
hype.
it? Is
really?
it
About it's about like drug abuse, I think actually.
Isn't
So
After
yeah,
Earth
I'll see
like
that.
like thinly veiled Scientologist propaganda? That's what I've heard.
that is I think that's a theory. I think I'm pretty sure.
What's the? I've always, like, does anyone know anything really about like weapon-based martial arts versus non-weapon-based? Like, I've always heard. I don't remember where, but I've like seen this multiple times that like, on average, like if you're like a martial artist who doesn't use weapons, to beat a martial artist who uses weapons, you have to be like 3 dan higher than them. Like for like Eastern
Yeah, I don't
martial
think
arts.
that math.
Clay, I
It
don't think
checks out.
I don't think anybody here knows anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you
about
take
that.
karate, Ollie?
Yeah.
I
was a green belt.
I was a white belt for one day, and then I left.
I was alright. This was I took Taekwondo when I was like 4, right? And then like the guy in charge of like the dojo. I don't even know what is it called in Taekwondo. I actually don't know.
Dojo, I don't know.
The Taekwondo dojo? I don't know.
Yeah, he's a Taekwondo dojo, right? Like, he wasn't even like Korean. I think he was like I think he was Italian or whatever. Right? He was Italian with like a big thick mustache, and he drove a green Lamborghini because he was so fucking rich
Jesus
because of like Taekwondo money. Because he ran the entire thing, and I joined because like one of my friends joined, and he was like a little above me, but. I joined and I was like a white belt, and then it took me like months to get the orange belt because they just like every time they would have the ceremony, I would just be absent for some reason, and so eventually like he just gave it to me like in the middle of like everyone being there. I went, all right, I'm out of here. I never went back.
No, I wasn't a green belt. I was an orange belt. I remember.
Oh yeah, it's trying to
No.
like elevate yourself
No,
above
no,
it.
no. I thought
down.
green was the second one. It just
Well,
shows
no,
how
it's
much
probably
I did.
different.
It depends on
Taekwondo.
which place you go.
It was karate. I mean, I did it in Egypt, so it's probably not real.
It was a guy Egyptian.
He was Egyptian, but no, I remember I did it for
Krav
like
Maga.
I did it for like a month, and every day I'd get bullied by the other kids because they didn't like made fun of my form. 'Cause
Oh,
they
okay.
said it looked bad, so I quit.
What's it called? Like Kumite or Kumite or something like that?
You
Kumite.
know,
right?
you think they taught us that
Well,
in
like
Egypt?
Krav Maga with like
Krav Maga. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that the
Isn't it?
It's like
That's
Jewish,
Israeli,
right?
That's Israeli.
yeah Israeli military art
Yeah.
thing? Yeah.
That's like cool. So is like capoeira. That's pretty cool
What
to
is
watch. too.
capoeira?
That's like the
Capoeira?
one where that kind of dancing. and, like,
Tupperware?
on their
Yeah,
hands.
that's what I was thinking.
I heard
Tupperware.
Tupperware too.
No, capoeira is really cool. It's like this, like it's like based on like dancing. I don't remember where it came from. I think it might be like Brazilian or something like that, or like somewhere in South America.
Look at it for the next time.
But like you like on your
I-
hands a lot. You
that's
like you like do a lot of kicks like spinning on your hands. It's like break dancing based. It was really cool.
That's actually
Speaking of breakdancing and karate, the Karate Kid. I just found out. I found out the name of that Jaden Smith movie. So, Cara Delevingne plays. It's called Life in a Year. Cara Delevingne plays his girlfriend who's dying. So he has to he sets out to give her an entire life in the last year of life she has left. Sounds pretty
Another
interesting.
cancer movie.
I don't even know if it's a cancer
It's
movie.
probably sounds.
Yeah, but
Me, Earl, and the dying Jaden Smith's girlfriend.
nice.
That was a good movie.
That's Meet Earl and the Dying Girl.
I
Great movie.
talk about.
Me, Earl, and the guy who drank a lot of Mountain Dew.
I feel like you should leave some of these pauses in.
Yeah, maybe that one was pretty good.
Leave it in just to the clap. Leave the clap in and then move on.
The breakdancing part of that. Jaden Smith was actually in The Get Down, the Netflix show that got canceled after one season.
How do you spell
Wait,
get in
about,
that scenario?
He's an
A
advert.
ragtag group of teenagers in the wild streets of the Bronx in the late 1970s.
So it's kind of like every like.
It's like a
dance-off
musical movie. No, it's like a musical. It's about like the emergence of music in the Bronx in the 70s. Yeah, I heard it was okay, but
So
I guess they
mix-
canceled after one
It's a
season.
mix of like
so.
dope and like any other dance-off movie.
I think it's more serious than Dope. Dope was
It was a good movie.
Dope is a good movie. Yeah, I agree. Have you seen Dope?
Never seen
Michael?
Give me the story.
It's about the kid who
Is it
is
the-
in like a rock band in LA or in
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I don't think so.
He's
What was that movie? No,
it's a black kid in LA. He's trying to get into Harvard.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
it might have been.
But he gets like
He gets
drawn
super-
into
yeah.
like the bad side of
okay,
LA
let
and
me
stuff.
describe to you a movie. It was like a bunch of like teens. Like I know for
Breakfast
sure
Club.
this isn't what?
Breakfast Club.
No, this is new. This is pretty new. It was like a bunch of teens and like
Breakfast
they get caught.
Okay, that's enough.
They get caught like they don't get caught. They're like selling drugs.
Wait, I didn't know you watched Breakfast Club.
And that's basically like the entire plot
They're
of the movie.
selling drugs?
They're like kids like of the new age, like selling drugs, and, like, trying to get by.
That is, I mean, they do that in Dope, don't they?
It might be dope.
Kids of the new age.
They sell drugs on the dark web or whatever.
I think
Like
There's
Molly
like, there's
and
like that
Did you watch it on
nerd- there's
Netflix?
like-
Definitely.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I think so.
If it's
Dope
on
is on
Netflix, then it
Netflix.
is.
Or do you
I
remember
watch
this?
that. That
The
was
guy
one of
who's
the only
the
things I
guy
watched on
who's
Netflix.
selling the drugs in the dark web. He's white, but he keeps asking the main character.
Yeah,
he can
this
say
is
the
def-
N word.
Yeah, this is definitely.
Yeah, that's
It's-
dope.
we
yeah.
saw Dope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely. Yeah.
Dope is a good movie. We were the only ones in the theater when we saw Dope.
Perhaps.
You actually came into the theater
Yeah,
when we saw
I
Dope.
remember that. I remember that.
The only other movie
I remember
saw
I watched like half of it in the theater, and I kind of liked it, so I wanted to watch the beginning half.
Yeah.
So I watched the rest of it on Netflix.
Michael worked at a movie theater, by the way.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Which shall not be
greatest,
named.
not the greatest job in the world.
Speaking
Actually, it
of,
was one of the probably the worst jobs ever. But that's okay.
speaking of Jackie Chan, to take it back a bit, did you know that it's funny that Jackie Chan was like born in Taiwan, right?
Yeah.
But he's like the biggest like mainland China like propaganda guy like known to man now. Like I think his son got in trouble for like doing something illegal in like Hong Kong or something. Or was he from Hong Kong or Taiwan?
I think I thought it was Hong Kong.
Is he from Hong Kong?
Yeah,
I thought it was Hong Kong.
Okay, yeah, never mind. He is from Hong Kong, but he's like completely like he's completely bitten the party like line about Hong Kong like hook and sinker. He just like repeats it a lot now, and so like his son got into like some trouble with like the police, and he just like he got him out like instantly because he's Jackie Chan.
Yeah, well,
Jackie Chan's like royalty.
Appreciate you could do that here.
No,
too.
but like the thing is like there's a lot of people who are like Hong Kong like supporters, like they support like autonomy for Hong Kong and
Hong
like,
Kong nationalist.
Yeah, well, more like they support the democratic like process in Hong Kong as opposed to like the rest of
Like communist China.
authoritarian China, and he like completely like abandoned. They feel like he's like abandoned the city, basically.
There's a really interesting interview on, I forget what chat show. Jack Black went to Hong Kong to promote Kung Fu Panda 3.
I remember this.
Because Jackie Chan like was in the movie, but he actually never met him, and he like. They took him up to like the top floor of like a skyscraper, and there's like Jackie Chan with a bunch of bodyguards like sitting around, and they gotta like pat him down and shit
to talk to Jackie Chan.
to talk to Jackie Chan.
co-star.
That's how big of a show a deal he
He's
was
called a
there.
shill, dude. He is a shill, completely actually.
But I guess Jackie Chan like he literally came up to Jack Black. He's like, I think of a movie. We'll do it. And then Jack Black he was whisked away, like never to see Jackie Chan again.
Damn,
So that's pretty interesting.
he always
Yeah.
came off as a nice guy.
No, I'm
I'm
sure
sure
he's a really nice guy.
He's
but-
a shill though.
When you
Yeah,
go to
I
America,
But like I mean,
you're gonna have to go to the top
wouldn't
of
you
Jack
do the
Black's
same
tower.
thing? Like honestly, Like,
Yeah.
If
I
Jack Black walked up to me, or
What the
just-
hell?
Yeah,
No,
especially
Like,
like, if you were
walk
in
up
this
to me.
situation, like you're part of like some autonomous region of a country, and then you become like a big
Guess.
star.
I
like
guess.
you would like for like the treatment they
to
give
make
you.
them treat me like a god.
Yeah.
I guess why not?
Yeah.
Him and
Real.
him and Donnie Yen are probably the two biggest stars coming out of China right now. Donnie Yen's the guy. He was
From
yeah.
what's
I am
it
one
called?
with the Force and the Force.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
with me
yeah,
or
that
whatever.
guy.
Yeah,
That's what
he's like one of
Rogue
the
One.
the.
He's a blind guy from Rogue One.
Yeah, no, but like I
He's
forgot
the
what his
pseudo Jedi from Rogue
yeah.
One.
What's his like? Dude, all right. On Rogue One, I really wish he whipped out a lightsaber at the end. Honestly,
I think it was originally. I feel like it was originally in there, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
that
like
was-
it turns
the
into a
setup. Yeah, the setup.
a lightsaber spear. That would have been
The
so
thing is,
dope.
there's the whole setup. I feel like spoilers, by the way, with the girl has a crystal, right? That she gets.
Yeah.
The Kyber
Kyber
crystal.
crystal.
Yeah.
She gets a kyber crystal, and you can see on his like stick that he has, his walking stick, that it's metallic at the end, and it can do something through the whole movie.
And then doesn't he put the kyber crystal inside?
He
it?
does,
Yeah.
yeah.
but like it never turns into a light.
It literally doesn't do anything.
They
Yeah.
set the whole thing up for that to be a lightsaber once it gets a kyber crystal, and nothing ever happens with it. And it was, I don't see why they didn't.
I
do
feel like if that did happen, I feel like the show or the movie would be around him then. Instead
But
of
if
like,
he
holy
dies
shit,
anyway.
look
So
at
it would have
this.
been
Everybody
right
dies.
before he died.
Everyone
Yeah.
died. Right?
So
It's
it wouldn't,
everybody
so it didn't
died.
matter that he
yeah,
got
it
it.
was like holy shit, look at this lightsaber guy. Ho ho.
Yeah, but like it
But
doesn't.
he literally uses the Force at the end anyway.
Yeah,
So,
he
like,
used-
yeah.
That's the thing. That could have just like added to it. You know?
Right, like he was. Yeah, he's literally like using the.
I don't know,
I,
I feel like from the
I don't
begin-
think that movie was supposed to be about like the Jedi or
Yeah,
like,
no.
the
It
Force
wasn't,
or
but
That's
like,
true.
there was the whole backstory with the
Yeah.
the kyber crystals that was like all new stuff that we've never heard about, and there was no reason for them not to like give him like the right as like he was like a descendant or like the guardians
I think
of the kyber crystals.
yeah,
and
I think the
stuff.
reason I thought that it was gonna happen is like they cut to the scene of him, you know, and he's got to like walk across there to like go like
he's holding
shut
it
down
like
the shield or whatever or something, and like it's all silent and it's just like it's him. This thing, and then like it's like a western, dude. Like you feel like he's about to whip something out and like fuck some guys up.
Dr.
something
Schultz,
out.
Yeah.
Schultz or whatever.
Yeah,
Dr.
I
Scholl.
feel like
Dr. Schultz.
and I understand that the kyber crystal was like a
Django.
symbol in its own right because it came from her like parents or dad,
Mm-hmm.
but like it really set it up that was like a possibility with all that, and I feel like if they're not gonna do if they don't want to make him a Jedi, the stick should have been just a stick, and
Yeah.
the kyber crystal should have been
I agree.
I think one of my issues with
used or
Rogue One,
something, I don't know.
honestly, is they teased at a bunch of stuff from like, so there's Rogue One, and then there's the original like Star Wars movies, like the
Like 4, 5, 6.
4, 5, 6, you know,
Original
series. Yeah,
1, 2,
original
3.
trilogy.
Yeah, no, there's all of them, and then they have like the Clone Wars like animated show, which I guess is canon.
It is canon.
And then
It is.
they have Rebels,
Yep.
which they
Which is also
actually,
canon.
which was also canon, that they teased in Rogue One slightly, somewhat. But the problem is like there are Jedis in like the Rogue One timeline technically, like Ahsoka from like the original like
Yeah.
Clone Wars
Yeah.
show. She's got 2 like white lightsabers or something to
She's
show her,
into it?
yeah, to show her like anonymity with the Force or something. And then
Wait, she was in that movie?
No,
no,
she's
she
in
wasn't.
Rebels.
She was in
in the movie
Rebels.
in the
I thought
Which
that
happens
Yeah.
like at the same
But
time.
the thing is, the
Oh,
problem is like there were people with lightsabers like around the Rogue One like timeline kind of thing, and they just like I
They
feel
made
like
it
they
seem like there was like they're non-existent.
Yeah.
Like they're extinct
and like
at that
these
point.
people weren't even necessarily Jedi. I'm pretty sure. Like there were 1 or 2 in Rebels. I'm pretty sure, but I don't think people like they were all necessarily.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Jedi.
They had
Well, no,
lightsabers. though, right?
technically, they're not Jedi because the Jedi Order was destroyed.
Okay, well,
Well,
Force
they're-
users-
they're
like
Force-
the good side of the Force
sensitive,
users.
Force-sensitive
Force sensitive.
beings, please use the proper terminology.
Also,
we gotta
also
be PC.
funny fact. Everyone here's seen The Force Awakens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so like there, spoilers if you haven't seen Force Awakens yet. I honestly don't know how you haven't. Maz or whatever, the
orange thing.
the orange lady with the
Oh,
glasses.
yeah, yeah.
When they went to the cantina kind of thing, apparently there was a scene they cut out of the movie when the Empire attacked, where she used the Force to hold up like a pillar or something so they can get by. So like I guess they cut out her being like a Force user, but I guess she technically is one, which is really interesting.
I
I bet
guess-
they decided to cut that out. I feel like it would have been kind of weird though.
I feel like Rogue One is like almost pseudo like cyberpunk-ish in like the fact that it's like kind of like a dystopia, and like there's like especially
Yeah.
especially like one of the first scenes where it's I don't know, the male main character like in that alleyway or whatever,
Yeah.
and he just like kills his like the dude he's with.
I mean, I guess
And
you could
leaves.
you could say that the original trilogy is kind of dystopian sort of thing, with with the Empire
Yeah,
being
perhaps.
like
yeah, but like that's like the that's like the very beginnings. Of,
Yeah, I guess that
the
makes
Empire.
sense.
And,
And,
like,
yeah.
they're hunting down dissidents and like.
I mean,
whatnot.
Explain what a dystopia is real quick.
So like,
The opposite of a utopia. So like a bad society.
Okay, so
like an authoritarian society. You've seen Brazil, right? I know you hated that movie, but that would be a dystopia film.
Or like 1984 is the classic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Oh,
like,
okay.
something
I
like
feel.
that.
I feel. I've seen
I think
1984.
I think it's really interesting too in like Star Wars how like they've started like it was always there but like different lightsaber colors represent different things, right? So like blue and green are like that's like the good side of the force, right? And red's always been the bad.
Have you heard the story about why the purple lightsaber is a
because he
thing?
wanted a purple one, right?
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson was like, I want a purple lightsaber.
And he's like,
I mean,
And
but
George
like,
Lucas was like, no. And then he came back on set the next day, he's like, you got a purple
but like
lightsaber.
didn't they like, kind of expand the canon around like the like since like he's not technically dead now or whatever like
Is he not oh no, okay, there's theories that he's not
well, like,
dead.
I thought like they expanded the canon on like the purple lightsaber, meaning like you weren't exactly like good or evil.
So like,
You're
the
like
purple,
in between.
No.
the lore between the purple lightsabers is that you were a Sith before and then you turned into a Jedi.
Yeah,
Is
you were
that
like,
official?
you were straying to the dark side, but you went to the,
yeah.
yeah.
Is that
You're-
really official?
Yeah, I
Or at
think
least
so.
it
I'm
was
pretty sure,
official
like
at some
the thing about it is he like is somehow harnessing the dark side for like the Jedi kind of thing. It's really weird, and I'm gonna have to look it up, and I'll bring it like next time.
Is it canon?
I'm
or
pretty sure it is
it
canon.
or is it
I'm-
legacy
I'm
canon?
pretty sure it's canon. I'm pretty sure it's
It's on-
canon.
it's on the
Canon,
wall.
not legacy.
Legacy canons.
They canonized a couple of things like that are like weird. Like they canonized parts of the Old Republic.
Yeah,
like the
I know that
KOTOR,
one.
But I
like
would just-
the
Yeah,
games.
KOTOR.
Yeah.
I was reminded of this when you said like the Ashoka having the white lightsabers and meaning like anonymity. So that means she's like neither side,
It's
right?
like
So he's
yeah,
both.
because
she's
okay,
neither.
so spoilers for the
Doesn't
end
it,
of
doesn't it just mean we don't know what she is?
No. Okay, spoilers for the end of the Clone Wars animated show. It's not really spoilers because the show was cut off after the 5th season, but you know it leads into Order 66 where like the Jedi were killed or whatever. Ahsoka leaves the Jedi Temple because she figures out that Order 66 is a thing and she can't really do anything about it because of like
what's that?
like politics. Order 66 is the Emperor telling him Order 66
He
and
tells
then
all
like
the clone troopers to kill all the
The one
Jedi.
that
yeah,
all the Jedi
exterminate the
Okay.
Jedi and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
So like Ahsoka, I think learns about it, and then but the problem is she can't do anything due to like political influence, obviously by the Emperor who was in there at that time. So like she leaves it, and then I guess she shows up in Rebels later as like, but there's like a big reveal kind of thing. But she's not necessarily there for the Jedi way. She was always like straying in the show, I'm pretty sure. So like she's like neutrality with the Force kind of thing.
Right, because like the purple means like you're both, but she's neither. So it's like
I think
that's
hers is like neutrality, where I think that is you've redeemed yourself. Kind
You were
of thing.
almost
It's not.
bad,
That's
but
big.
you're
Not.
bad.
It's not.
Yeah.
Both. It's just like both would be like it's like technically black. I don't know.
What is it?
There are black. There are black sabers. The guys the Mandalorians have like a whole arc in the show where they have like it's like a katana kind of thing, only it's like a lightsaber, but it's like it's black.
How many times is it like folded on itself?
I don't know what that means.
what is the like when you forge a katana, you fold the metal. That's like
Oh, okay,
that's like
okay.
the famous
No, it's like
meme reason they're
it's
so
like
strong.
it's like a Jedi like saber or whatever where it like pops up kind of thing,
I
but
think
it is a katana. Like it looks like a katana. So yeah,
So if you had to choose between a lightsaber and a light katana, which one would you get?
I mean,
lightsaber. I mean, they're basically the same thing.
So you
yeah,
want
I
a
would take the
katana?
saber as well.
I mean, well, okay. Here's the weird. So it might be the animation or something, but like the katana thing, like the Mandalorian katana, literally looks like a sword, where like the lightsaber actually looks like it's just a beam of light coming out of like this like hilt.
I've always thought like for lightsabers, like since the way that maybe this isn't the case, but it's always looked like it's kind of just the weight of the handle. I've never really thought the light had any weight. At least that's the way I viewed it. Maybe it does.
It probably doesn't have any weight.
I would think it
That would
doesn't.
be really weird.
So if it doesn't have any weight, then just you want a bigger, wider shape for the most part, unless you need to like maneuver carefully around
Yeah, that's
other people.
that's something I thought. Why didn't it just like continue forever? And then you just like
Well, I mean,
swung it like once. You just
It's probably
killed
has to do
everyone.
with the kyber crystal limitations. Then that's
Yeah.
why they're introducing those
Yeah.
to kind of roll over those potholes.
Like, what if you had like a flashlight, except like the flashlight beam was like the lightsaber?
It stopped at like 10 feet or something.
Well, I mean, I guess there are limitations of it, right? Because they must have like.
So like,
It doesn't necessarily go through everything, right? Because they use kyber crystals to power the Death Star's beam, and I mean, that doesn't. The beam hits the planet and then it explodes. The beam doesn't go straight through the planet, if I remember correctly. It hits the surface and doesn't penetrate completely, though.
No,
does
it blows it up.
I think it does go through.
Does it go through
Does
it?
it like penetrate the core of the planet?
It goes to the core and then it blows up.
But does it make it through the core, right?
I don't know.
Or does it just extend to the
They turn
core?
the beam
matters.
off.
Huh?
Yeah, maybe
They
do
fire a pulse.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe-
it's a pulse.
Right, so
Yeah.
if it's a pulse, then it should go, and it would be like, it's like a pulse, so it would just go...
I don't know.
go
I don't know
through,
if the Kyber crystal Death Star is necessarily like a.
If it's just a big lightsaber.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I don't think it's
If
just a
it was
big
light-
lightsaber on like a space station.
Listen,
I mean-
if it was light, right, it's a wave, so it travels through the medium eventually.
I mean, can
Okay,
we
well, okay,
really-
Well,
Really?
light is particles and waves.
Listen,
But
listen,
the
we
way
really
the
want-
lightsaber
hold on,
move-
Stop. We can't. Okay, the problem is with this, like this, going into like actual science here is that like George Lucas pretty much said, my films don't, go through like basic science. Like you hear sounds in space in Star Wars. You don't do that. Isn't a thing in real life.
That kind of brings up something I've always thought is kind of like. Wow.
He said it's my universe. There's sound in space.
It's kind of this is kind of like a pet peeve of mine, and I've seen it more I've seen it more and more in recent years where people need everything to have an explanation in a narrative.
Yeah,
and
they're
they're
watching like a sci-fi.
And they're not
like,
content if there isn't an explanation for something. But like, why can't there be no explanation? Why can't that just be enough? Why
I
can't
mean,
it
it's
be
a
enough?
movie. You're taking yourself out of the.
I mean, Mad Max is a really good, thing with that. You don't need an explanation, like the Fury Road or whatever. You don't need an explanation for anything, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like everything you need to pick up about the world is like sort of in the background of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing is explained except my name is Max, and
Here's
my
a good-
world is fire.
Here's a good example
kind
of
thing.
like things that just like don't matter a lot. So when we watched fucking Prometheus, and like that, Clay had that one comment about was there like plants on the planet before like the engineer went there? Or
God.
whatever.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
That's
matter
so
at all.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter, but it's
that
really
was so
I
good.
find it interesting to think about. I know it doesn't matter, right? But a show that I think actually really benefits from like not knowing much. I know this is dumb in like pop culture, but Rick and Morty, like the more you know about the backstory of characters,
Yeah,
the
I
more you
think the
find out,
worse it is,
the worse it is.
Yeah.
The less you know about it, and the more like spastic it seems, and like the created randomness and stuff.
We're gonna cut a lot out.
The better it seems. But another thing that's really another thing that like kind of similar to that is like the whole Indiana Jones thing, where he didn't necessarily need to be in the movie, but like it doesn't really matter that he didn't need to be in the movie to change the outcome. The fun part is watching Indiana Jones, right? So
Yeah. No, like what was I gonna say? I had something to say, and then I got my train of thought is gone.
I cut my gums.
What the hell? Okay.
Dentist Michael Ford
Yeah.
coming to the rescue.
All right, let's move on from movies. I think we're
Okay.
talking about movies enough.
All right, so
Wait,
okay, we gotta-
no. Speaking of Jackie Chan,
Okay.
okay, I saw.
We're not speaking of
Yeah,
Jackie.
wait. Unironically, there's something I want to say that's kind of funny.
About
I
Jackie
already have the
Chan.
next topic
about
already.
China that's happening
Oh,
right
because
now.
I actually have a Jackie
Go
Should
Chan.
we
ahead.
talk about
Okay.
Jackie Chan first,
Let
then China?
Adam
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so a long time ago, like probably back when I made my Facebook page, I went through and I liked a bunch of random stuff,
Yeah.
because it suggests you stuff. I'm like, oh, Jackie Chan's kind of cool, so I like Jackie Chan's page. And since then, I've gotten rid of most of those things because I don't want to see them in my feed. But I've never gotten rid of the Jackie Chan Facebook page.
Yeah, he posted.
Why?
And he posts on it a lot, or someone posts on it a
Oh,
lot.
obviously, yeah.
But I saw that there's a new Jackie Chan adventure show coming out in China. You remember Jackie Chan
Yeah,
Adventures?
hell yeah, dude.
That was really good.
Oh,
They showed
yeah,
on
yeah,
the WB
Talismans.
with Johnny Test and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So so
Johnny Test is
but
awful
this
show.
new Johnny Test or the new
Oh
Jackie
no, not new Johnny Test, Adam.
the new Jackie Chan Adventures is this like garbage CGI Chinese show. I just thought it was weird
That's
that
depressing.
they chose that to reboot.
You know,
I
why
mean,
didn't
they
just
always
make it
have-
anime?
I
I
mean,
don't know.
I feel like I don't appreciate a lot of the reboots though, and maybe it's just me, but like I really didn't like the Teen Titans reboot either.
Yeah, no, that's unfair.
No, that was not
Let
a
me
good
tell you why.
reboot. I did not like that at all.
It wasn't trying to be like
I know.
a sequel to Teen Titans. It was like a completely different thing. It's like a short comedy. That's all it
But
was.
I mean,
and like, it's very popular. Everyone likes it.
I know, but it's just I feel like it like disgraces the Teen Titans as much as anything
What the
else. I
hell?
don't like
Well,
it.
okay,
No,
this,
Teen
that's-
Titans will still exist.
That's like a neckbeardy thing to say.
Yeah.
Teen Titans is not like some sacred thing that you have to respect.
And it's not going anywhere.
I mean, this is like going into like the Daredevil that was made in like 2002 with like shitty Ben Affleck, and then like the new Daredevil, which people think is like objectively better. So like people go back and look at that old Daredevil, and they'll be like, this is like a disgrace to Daredevil kind of thing. Or this is gonna like happen with Batman, like the Christopher Nolan
Ben
Batman.
Affleck,
yeah, and then we got this new one helmed by the Planet of the Apes guy with Ben Affleck in it. People are gonna, if that one's bad, people are gonna say, this is a disgrace to, I mean, people have already said that about the Joker. It was Suicide Squad. This is a disgrace to Heath Ledger and
That was just a disgrace.
Jack Nicholson.
It's a disgrace
Film
to
in general.
humanity. is what
It
it
was a
was.
disgrace to film in general.
It was a
I don't-
disgrace to life.
Dude, honestly, that
Movie
that
sucked.
movie was the fact that it just seemed like a really long like music like a
Yeah.
series of music videos.
Mhm.
And there were
Dude, God, the completely all brand new soundtrack and just playing literally like top 40 hits.
Dude,
is just
alright,
so
this-
weird.
Some of those songs are unironically good too.
Yes,
which is really
that's the
sad.
thing. That's the thing.
Well, I mean, they're all good.
They're all
Yeah,
good
some
songs,
of
but like,
the-
they didn't belong in the movie.
Some of the scenes were unironically bad. Like the one on the staircase, which came out of nowhere, was like a flashback to like them jumping in like a vat of acid or something.
Harley Quinn's like backstory. Like,
and that's like
yeah.
really cool. But they placed it in like a
Yeah,
random moment.
it was a
I
good
just-
scene.
I
It
don't
was
get how-
very like
pretty
poorly
much-
played.
That was probably the best scene in the whole
It was-
movie.
Yeah, I think so
probably-
as well.
Yeah.
All of the Joker was in a flashback, like except for like the
Pretty much.
very end.
In the very end,
Yeah.
yeah.
Where they decided to play Bohemian Rhapsody and then just cut it at the end. Like
Yeah.
really? Like why?
I've still never seen Suicide
It's
Squad.
Do
sucks.
yourself a
Alright.
favor and don't.
Here's
Yeah.
a controversial opinion. I really did not like Wonder Woman at all.
Really?
I watched it. I
Still
watched
haven't
it.
seen that one either.
Didn't
so
watch it.
I didn't watch
Let's
Wonder
not
Woman.
spoil it, but really you didn't like
I did
Wonder
not
Woman?
like it at all.
Why?
It was one of the most like chicken hawk movies I've ever seen.
What do you mean?
When it comes to like how it portrayed like I guess war in general and like what like I had a problem. I had a big problem with the setting and like the plot of the thing. Right? So it's gonna be hard for me to say this without spoilers, but like basically I think first of all they chose the wrong time period to put that movie in, 100%, because World War One. So how do I say this? Do you care about spoilers for this movie?
Nope.
I know
Kind of.
Chris Pine dies, and that's about
That's
all I
not
know.
easy.
Like, I figured that could be the biggest spoiler, so just
Like I kind of want to say like.
Well,
who the-
I didn't know that. Now I do.
Well, I don't even know who
Isn't
Chris
that just
Pine
what-
is.
Okay,
I don't either.
to be fair, you've seen Batman vs
I
Superman,
have
right?
seen Batman
Okay, you know Wonder Woman doesn't age, and she goes into the if Chris Pine is in World War One, he's not
He's like
going
a
to be in
normal-
World War. He's not going to be in 2017. Justice League.
I don't-
Everyone
Oh.
Hey, how
dies,
do you know
right?
that, dude? You saw Cap 1, right?
Yeah, Captain America
Yeah,
got
but that's
frozen.
Marvel.
Bucky
Huh?
made it. Bucky made it.
Speaking of Bucky,
Yeah, Bucky made it
Bucky-
too.
Bucky's also like an android.
Bucky's like the worst character in the
Bucky
world.
fucking
Bucky's
died.
dope. Bucky's
What-
dope.
what- we're talking
No,
about
the Winter
Woman?
Soldier
Yeah.
ruined all
No,
the Marvel
no, no,
movies.
I think
I agree.
Oh, come on.
I
No,
disagree.
you're
I
being
hate
no,
weird.
not the movie.
Hey,
The
hey,
Winter
hey,
Soldier, the character.
let's save this. Let's save this later. Let's save this for in
Okay,
a second. Okay.
I have something to say about that, but go
But
ahead.
the one I mean is like it's Chicken Hawk movie. It's pretty much just some like neoliberal like pro-war bullshit slapped on with like an identity politics veneer. Like she's a woman, so like doing all this shit is okay, sort of thing. Like World War One, it was like a pointless like colonial war. There was no reason to set this in that time period, and like some of the things they say about it, like it's necessary. The people who are calling for peace are like the real enemy, and like so it's almost like clearly an allegory to modern time. Like it's like they want us to go into Syria and kill Assad or something.
Wait, are you serious?
Like I actually felt like that, like 100%.
But you would think it would be like a really liberal movie.
It is a liberal movie, but it's not like it's not. But the liberals in this country are not anti-war.
I mean, they're not pro. Are they pro-war? I
So
don't
like
get that vibe.
No, I feel like I call it like Hillary Clinton-esque.
Okay.
Like as long as it's like a woman bombing the brown people, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's what I felt.
Okay,
about it.
I guess that makes sense. I agree
Because
with that.
like who the real enemy was, like the fact that person was the enemy was kind of gross.
Who was
Yeah.
the enemy?
Well, this isn't spoiled, but like,
I don't care.
okay, the guy, there's
Do
like
you care?
there's like this British
anymore.
like
So,
minister
yeah.
guy like who's calling for peace with the Germans, and it turns out he's the real like
It
bad
turns out
guy.
he's
all
Ares or whatever.
He's the god of
Wonder
because he's supporting the Germans. The Germans in World War One. It's
Yeah.
not like the British were any better.
Yeah, I feel
If
like
it was set by Nazis, and it'd be like a completely
I
different
agree.
thing. You know?
I agree. I feel like it definitely could have been better if it was World War
At
II.
least they didn't.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but then Cap 2.
The Lord doesn't
Yeah.
check out.
At least from what I understand, though, they didn't commit like the most grievous sin of having Wonder Woman sitting, flying through the air in an invisible plane.
Why did they do that?
That's like the most. That's like so nasty.
I'm sure they'll do
Wait,
that.
they
in either,
did that?
No,
No.
they didn't.
Oh.
I'm sure.
That's like
I'm,
those grievous
I'm 100% certain they'll make a joke in that either in Justice League or Wonder Woman 2.
Wait, explain.
All right, you.
Wonder Woman has an invisible jet.
Phone,
Yeah, it's an invisible jet.
Phone. You
That's
seen
the invisible
It's the
Bobo
joke.
from
I was gonna say
SpongeBob.
it's like Mermaid Man
Yeah,
and
that's
Barnacle
the thing
Boy's
it's
car.
based off of. If their car, if it's like so in like old movies and like stuff or like comics, you'll just see her like in like this
Literally
position,
just
just like
sitting.
sitting and like flying through
That's
the air.
so goddamn lazy.
It's like the
so
dumbest
lazy.
shit ever.
Yeah,
and
it's
like
just lazy.
it pisses me off that it exists.
It's like Mermaid Man
I
and
think
Barnacle Boy. I'm telling you.
I somewhat agree with you in terms of the themes in the movie. Like I feel like they were really heavy-handed, and I get what you mean by that. But I think it was really refreshing to see a movie like that. Where like a woman was taking full scale. The director. I'm pretty sure the DP was a woman too. In the lead, taking control of like a big franchise like this, and it is topping all of DC's charts. Pretty
It's
much.
true, but that's like the worst kind of identity politics. I think. As long as it's like as long as this is a minority or a woman doing it, it's okay if they're like a Nazi.
And then
like,
is
what
it,
the hell is
are you allowed to disagree, or are you allowed to say that the movie's bad? It was held by women. Are you saying that it's bad, or are women bad?
No,
Is that
yeah,
what
I,
you mean?
I
That's
guess
not-
I guess that's true. I guess-
Everything always ends up being like that.
Yeah.
Because it's a movie empowering women, any negative thing you say is, oh, you hate women.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
you're
I agree.
misogynistic
I
piece of
think there
shit.
was a
Like,
lot
that's
of
how
that.
everything
I
goes.
think there was
it's
a lot
not
of
a
that.
zero-sum game. You can also be empowering towards women and not want to bomb the Middle East.
Well, yeah,
Right,
I
but
know.
you-
I'm saying if you
Yeah, yeah,
are
yeah,
arguing
yeah,
against
I'm not-
it,
I'm
and
not
that's, what
arguing
that's the
against it,
first thing you're
it's not a zero-sum game.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I agree, but I think a feminist movie like this movie is very clearly feminist. Like you agree with that, right?
Yeah, but I think it's.
I think
also
Not in
that-
a bad way.
No, I
Like,
think
in a-
I think a movie
in a
like
good
this
way, yeah.
needed to be a thing like right now.
I think it's good that it was made.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people are gonna. I think this is bringing a lot of people to movies again. Sort of seeing something that people haven't seen before. I agree with you in terms of like setting that it shouldn't be like that. But people. You bring in. They bring in the war. The people who like to go see war movies, kind of thing. Because
Sure.
I honestly can't even tell you the last World War I movie that was made, kind of thing. Maybe a German movie 2 years ago or something.
Wasn't Warhorse World War One?
No, War Horse was World War II, I thought.
Was it?
I thought
No,
it
it was
was-
World War
Oh,
One.
it
There were
was.
trenches.
Okay, well,
There you go, Warhorse.
the ratio of World War I movies to World War II movies is severely in favor of
Yeah,
World
but
War
look,
II.
okay, think about it though.
It's
When you're-
easier to villainize the
Yeah.
Nazis.
Yeah,
It's
because-
like,
There's a clear. That's a
Nazis are universally hated no matter what you do. World War One, it's like, yeah, there's an enemy, but it's like it's very hard to like make the enemy like, oh, this is like the bad guy. We're all gonna kill him.
I stand by that. There's no good guy in World War One.
Yeah,
like, at all.
Yeah, there was
Except
that's
America.
the thing. America's
Hell
always
no.
the best.
It's like they're all
America.
just like it's like the British are fighting like
Yeah,
we're
it's-
trying to protect like their fucking like colonies in Africa, and the French are doing the same thing. The
But
Germans are
see,
doing
that's
the same
the
thing.
thing. You can't you can obviously make a movie on that, but why do that when you can
No,
just
you
make a
could-
World War
I'll
II
tell you
movie
why. I'll
on
tell you
You
why.
can make
Nazis?
a great movie out of that if you play to those same themes of like this is pointless, like there's no reason to, or like trying to show like the heroism or like the tenacity
Yeah,
of the
but I'm
people in
talking
the trenches.
like a fantasy movie.
Yeah, no, but
like
so-
Captain
so-
America's place in World
I
War II, but
honestly
it's still a
think
fantasy
part
movie.
Of, part of the parts of Wonder Woman is like almost kind of like offensive. Like it's like everyone's in the trench, they're like dying, they're shitting like their ass, like they're shitting like their lives out of their like asshole because they have dysentery and shit. And then like all of a sudden it's like that's no man's land. It's like, but I'm not a man. And then she just goes up and like doesn't like die and like wins the war. Like that's kind of offensive, isn't it?
I mean, but like, because it's a woman doing it. What are we
I mean,
gonna do?
I agree.
Like,
The
what are we
dialogue
supposed to do?
it's meant to be empowering.
Wait, did they really say that?
Yeah.
That's actually that's pretty
it reminds me
funny.
of, like Macbeth, where like to kill Macbeth, the guy says, "Oh, you won't be killed by a man who was born by a woman."
Yeah.
And the guy says, "Oh, I wasn't born from a woman; I was pulled from her." And then he like killed her. What? He was like, I was like ripped out of her. Like,
Or
through
the
sunlight.
Lord of the Rings does the same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
I mean, you can argue anything is going to be offensive towards men, but like that.
No, I'm not saying it's offensive.
I know. I'm just saying
It's
it's offensive towards to those people
fought in the-
who like
yeah.
who are in those trenches that actually suffered from dysentery. Like it's very offensive to
The,
them. But,
the
like,
dysentery part is just like a
well, obviously, but like
Yeah, you ever play
It's-
Oregon Trail?
actually,
I couldn't find it. I tried to find it once. Where do I get Oregon Trail?
Anyways, back to what I was saying. Like,
You gotta keep
Shishon,
that.
Shishon, you said it yourself. Like, you can have a minority, or I guess you could like put a minority or a woman do anything that like you would normally see as like kind of wrong, like making fun of people who are dying in trenches. And it's just not going to be anywhere near as
It's
wrong.
not-
As if me and you just like went up like in the middle of a YouTube video and just made fun of World War One people who like victims.
What you're trying to say
It
is,
doesn't-
I think,
it doesn't work well.
It's not tasteful that it used World War. The way it used World War One,
I feel
is
like,
it's like a
just the general like
plot
way that they
convention.
used that setting was not tasteful.
yeah, it was not.
'Cause, like,
And then
I agree.
I feel like I
okay.
can't find a way for them to fit that plot into like almost any setting. Really.
Yeah, but the thing is, I feel the problem was with World War One, because with World War One, you can feel like you have the ability to feel sympathy for everyone there. Like
Yeah.
everybody there, like you can kind of feel sympathy for. But if they put it in World War Two, what you can feel sympathy for a Nazi? Like nobody feels sympathy for Nazis.
Here's
like,
a question. So with Captain America, there was a reason that they chose World War II, because like that was
Part of
he was
the-
created
During the
During
that
World War
time.
II.
and
Well, okay, no,
his original he punches the Red Skull who's supposed to be Hitler or whatever.
Wonder
Is
Woman-
there
Yeah.
a lore connection
Yeah,
with Wonder Woman? And
yeah.
World
Wonder
War
Woman was originally set in World War One.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, then
Because that's where
why
that's
they're
where
doing
what's
it.
what's his face served. Chris Pine's character.
Okay,
in World War
I don't
One.
know anything about Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
so,
no, I'm pretty
okay.
sure
neither
that's-
do I.
that's-
I thought they-
I'm basing all this from what Sean
For a second, I
said.
thought they just arbitrarily chose.
Yeah,
World
that's-
War One.
I
It'd be
honestly-
like,
that's what I
let's
thought
just
too.
throw Wonder
Yeah,
Woman in the Gulf
That's
War.
what I thought. That's what I thought.
I think the problem is
Persian
they were.
Gulf
I
War.
think they weren't tasteful with the plot they have.
the theme of the movie was questionable.
Because
that's all.
no, they gave it like a theme that you would give a movie, like a war movie today, maybe or something, or like a movie about like feminism today.
It's like
kind of thing.
it's like American Sniper, but American Sniper is like a girl. That's the movie.
Yeah, but
and she's like that's the she's
Yeah.
a girl, and
Yeah.
so
But,
she's
like,
the best sniper kind of thing.
in,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
in,
yeah.
in, a,
I-
in a positive light,
Yeah.
I think it's probably very good that it was made.
Oh, no, I agree.
Like a movie empowering
I
women, like at a
100%
time like
agree.
this is like beautiful.
The movie,
like, it's
the
very
movie's,
good.
Yeah, no, I honestly, I really enjoyed the movie, and I think it's like.
I wanted to see.
I thought it was.
but now I know
It's
Chris
very,
Pine
very.
died.
I think it's very, very warm and like emotional. I think it's
Well,
really good.
I thought I heard this thing. I thought I heard this thing where the director. I think did the director also write the script?
Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
didn't she have the? I thought from one
I
of
think-
my
I think
sources.
she might have
One of my
co-wrote it
sources
or
is that
something.
she had this draft for the script or the idea for the movie for like a long time, and she's
Oh,
been pushing it for a while.
No, that was Joss Whedon. So the guy who did.
Of course it's Joss Whedon.
No. So the guy who did the Avengers,
Yeah.
Avengers 2, and he's also he's taking over directing on Justice League because Zack Snyder's daughter committed suicide.
Yeah.
He wrote a Wonder Woman script, and I guess technically comparatively to the script that Patty Jenkins, the director of the Wonder, like 2017 Wonder Woman wrote.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty like sexist, I guess is the word to use. I'm pretty sure is what a lot of people
Who
use.
Joss Whedon's is?
Yeah, Joss Whedon's script is
Okay.
really sexist. Apparently,
When was it-
unfortunately I haven't read it. I read scripts, and maybe I'll have to read that one.
When was
and
it written?
Figure it out. I think it was a while ago.
Wait,
Joss Whedon really he wrote things on both sides. Like he did the Avengers. I'm pretty sure he wrote the Avengers. He's helming a Batgirl movie. He's rewriting most of Cyborg's dialogue in Justice League because apparently it's like bad. So it's just he's done a lot of
doing
both sides.
Infinity War too?
No,
he's not?
Those two brothers
The
are
Russo
doing it.
brothers are doing it. They're the
Oh.
guys who did Civil War.
And Cap 2.
They did. They got their big start through.
I
like Civil War more than Avengers 2.
What's
That's for
up?
sure.
Oh, yeah.
What's the
Yeah,
origin
yeah.
of Wonder Woman? I actually don't know her like actual origin. Like
She's
Yeah,
from Themyscira.
what?
So
You
it's
don't know
like
Themyscira, dude?
Dude, everybody knows.
Everybody knows that.
so like
Themyscira.
she's the daughter of Zeus, and she's basically a god.
So this is like Percy Jackson.
No.
She's like Hercules.
I forgot the
the
name.
original
Of She's an
Percy
Amazonian.
She's
so
the
like
original
so
Hercules.
her origins are basically like shoehorned in with Greek mythology kind of thing. That's why Ares is her villain kind of thing. The god Ares is her
Okay.
like her main villain kind of thing.
So she hates her brother?
Yeah, yeah.
But
I guess technically.
Ares
Lore
is
down.
Ares is a hero in Marvel.
There's the beginning of the movie. I thought
There's-
they
alright.
did a really good job of explaining the origin of the Amazons and her without.
I thought it was funny how they couldn't. Everyone on that island had to match her accent, and it does sound kind of funny in certain places.
She's an accent?
She's
Yeah.
Israeli.
Southern-
She's not Israeli. She's
Israeli.
She's Israeli.
But I thought she was Lebanese.
You just called her Amazonian.
Well, no,
in
the
real
actor.
life.
Oh,
in real
the
life.
She's Israeli. She's Israeli.
She's
yeah.
not actually Amazonian.
She's Israeli. The Amazons are they're like
incredible.
yeah.
You know,
Wait.
but, like she has like an Israeli accent,
Mhm.
Did you try to change it or
she
anything?
did not try to change it at all, and
That's
everyone else
weird.
just kind of fit her.
Wait, so
Everyone else
in the
just-
movie she
What's
still has the accent?
Yeah.
What's an
That's
Israeli
really
accent? Is that like Gila?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gila H3.
Yeah,
Yeah, Gila Klein.
Gila Klein.
That's like the only. I don't. That's all I could think of. I didn't.
No,
have
the
another example.
Israeli accent is more of an Ethan Klein,
I
honestly.
feel like that was on purpose.
Yeah,
What,
I
to
mean,
keep
like it has
Israeli
to be on
accent?
purpose.
No, to keep like a more like
No, but like the thing is, like she couldn't just change her accent. Like everyone else
Okay,
had to change their accent.
This is actually really funny because there's a Fox News clip about how I think it was Fox and Friends or some bullshit. We're talking about how Wonder Woman is this new Wonder Woman is anti-American or something. You know, they took all of the color out of her like suit, and she's
100% no.
yeah, and I think they partly did that because they wanted to have like a more like
Cosmopolitan, like hero.
worldly,
That's what that
kind
means,
of
yeah.
superhero. Yeah, I guess I don't know.
Well, no, they took the color out because that's just the in thing to do with the movie.
Yeah, that is true.
They took the
Yeah, it
color
also
out of every
no. I
character.
mean, obviously Fox News is talking out of their ass.
Yeah,
so
of
It's
you-
course,
Fox
yeah.
News.
But,
What do you
like,
expect?
yeah, no. It's funny that you brought that up, and I think that like
Because I have the opposite
Yeah.
problem with it. It's so clearly an American movie.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah, no.
Well, just because she has an accent doesn't make it
Wait,
else
dude,
American.
shut
Wait,
up.
so are you
It doesn't make it.
No,
I was saying that was a
Are you
great
saying
idea.
Chris Pine got an Israeli accent?
Who's Chris?
No,
Pine?
I'm
What the
saying
fuck are you
every
talking
other
about?
Amazon on that island.
I think that every other
Yeah, I thought it was
character
like all
in the
over
movie.
the-
Like every other character was talking with an Israeli
Yeah,
accent.
Even the British are talking.
Yeah, that's what I was
accent.
thinking. Like all of her co-workers, co-actors felt like
They needed to
They
talk
felt bad
in-
that she couldn't speak in another accent, so they.
Wow,
well,
that's
wow.
actually that's why I got it. I got it that every other like main character was had like an Aries had
No.
to speak in an Israeli
Everyone
accent.
from that same island had to match an Israeli accent.
Even Amazon Island.
Yeah, that's
Even
the,
Robin Wright
It's their mascara.
from fucking
The
House
island.
of Cards.
Wait, is it like thermal mascara? I don't understand.
It's
Thermascara.
It's just the name
I'll
of the
spell
place.
it for you later, Clay. Okay.
Ton.
I don't really care later. I just care now.
Okay.
He lives in the now.
It's not thermal mascara.
Yeah,
It's thermascara.
I've said it off.
All right, we have talked a lot about
But-
movies.
Okay, I have another thing to bring up.
This is about to be a
no,
fun
this is about
fact.
this is about everything. I wish that more war movies or more movies that include foreign characters actually speak like their language of thing. Like that was the one thing that annoyed me
Yeah,
about Wonder Woman.
but-
I wish the Germans actually spoke German.
Like to
kind of
each
thing.
other.
Yeah,
Like,
to each
so
other.
Just like have the movie like that part subtitled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why
Yeah,
not?
but like
People just
okay,
don't
let's
like
be
subtitles.
realistic.
It's stupid.
Only
I
like
don't
people
get it.
people like us like that go to watch movies to enjoy the film as a film wouldn't mind reading subtitles. Like a normal like a
Yeah.
normal person going to sit in
Right.
movie theater.
The problem-
they gotta
okay,
realize
here's the thing.
they're catering to the masses. Here.
Here's the thing.
The masses would rather not read
No, okay.
subtitles.
Here's the thing though. Netflix just released a movie called Okaya.
Yeah, but
on-
Netflix is different
no,
than releasing
no.
a movie in theaters.
I mean,
It's
that's
a big
okay.
difference.
I also
people
think you have to consider that, like-
a lot of people ended up watching this movie, and half of it is in Korean. A lot of normies ended up watching this movie, not just like theater, film people like me or my brother who watches a lot
I
of
think
movies.
you also have to consider that there's people, including us, that watch TV shows that are entirely in a different language that are subtitled, and we're used to reading.
Yeah, I mean, I watch a lot of. I like just because I think 75% of all media I consume is probably foreign. You can just look at my DVD collection or
Yeah,
something.
what-
It's all
what-
foreign.
Anime.
Germany.
What's number 2?
I really like
Dude,
German movies.
when did we lose the
French?
What's number 3?
Japan?
China.
What's number 4?
Japan.
Korean.
What's number 5?
Japan.
Poland. Poland.
Japan.
Taiwan.
I don't believe
I
it.
don't,
I don't
dude, I know. Edward Yang from Taiwan is one of my favorite directors of all time.
Alright,
And I actually.
Hold on. But so Fode,
And then
you,
Japan.
you might have interest in this. There's this movie.
Got him.
There's this movie called The Ching Chong Express. What's it called? Bing.
Dude, you can't say
I honestly always
Chungking
get it
Express?
read.
Okay,
let's
get
get Chung Ching.
Ching Chong
Let's
Express.
whatever.
And you pretend it's like something
Whatever.
dog or something? What the hell?
Whatever.
So that's actually something Donald Trump said. Ironically.
Whatever. It wasn't meant like that. I always forget the name
It's
of
actually
the movie. Okay.
hilarious.
Chungking Express. There's like 8 or 9 different languages spoken in this movie, and it's all like subtitled.
Oh, it's.
I wouldn't
it's-
mind that at all.
it's
Like
yeah,
I
no,
don't
I'm
mind.
saying it's
reading
cool.
subtitles.
I'm saying
Yeah.
it's cool.
That's
They're
actually
interested in that, yeah.
very cool because you have to like watch people act more natural than watching Germans in World War I speak English to each other.
Yeah.
Because already again that's not very realistic.
Hell no.
I mean, I guess it goes back to like you don't need everything to be explained, but like little stuff like that makes a movie seem more genuine.
Going back to war, here's my segue back to current events in China.
Right.
So apparently, India and China are in like a confrontation right now in like the Himalayas, and they're not
This
like
is real life.
This
Right?
is real
Okay,
life. It's
yeah.
happening right now.
It's not an anime.
And like because
I
there's
got
like,
really
there's like
confused.
disputed borders and stuff, and like apparently there are like forces using slingshots and stones and like shooting each other. I'm not joking. You can find like pictures of like an Indian army guy with like they have like steel helmets and like
With a
body armor, and
slingshot?
they're using slingshots.
Is there a reason for that?
I don't know. I just saw these images. I wanted to know
Hey, budget cuts.
budget cuts.
I'm telling you, we gotta bring up the topic of our friend who selling Snapchat.
I don't think it's a ring.
No,
Yeah, no, I want to bring it up.
no. Can we do that tomorrow? Next time?
No.
We need to bring this
Alright,
up. We need to bring
the
it up.
backstory
Next
of this
time.
is that
No, we're not talking about
Next
it.
time.
next time.
Next time.
Next
Yeah.
time.
Maybe we'll have some more details about it next time.
No,
So,
just cut this out.
Can we give it a tease?
Go for it. Yeah.
So one of our friends, let's say his name is John.
he's not our friend.
No. Call him what he is. He's a Facebook friend. That's what he is. He's a Facebook friend.
He's short on money, so him and his girlfriend are selling their 18 plus private Snapchat, and they're doing requests for cash.
Yeah.
And we're interested in finding out more about this lifestyle. And we had discussions about like, couldn't you have just made more money by like going to a studio or something and whatnot? We'll do some research and come back later.
Yeah, it'll be a fun one for next time. I can just
Tune
feel
in
it.
next time.
I can just feel it.
It also
I say with tears.
it also might not happen, so don't get your hopes up too high. All fellow one listener. So okay, so I think we're gonna end this, but Shasant, I just have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict?
It should all be Palestine from the border to the sea.